So today is an absolutely huge day for Poppy Playtime Chapter 3 news. Not only did the ARG get a massive new update, we finally found out what happened to Theo and why he was sent to the hospital, but we also found out that 1006 might just be more involved in Chapter 3 than we first thought. On top of that though, we got a brand new VHS teaser. Now this is the latest in a long line of VHS teasers for Chapter 3, but this one is just a little bit different. This one is a little bit creepier and actually contains a bunch of relevant information for the next chapter. In fact, I think there are a bunch of hidden clues and secrets in here, including some that I think you probably missed. So as usual, I want to give you my thoughts and theories on this latest VHS, including the details that I think you might have missed, as well as what they could mean for the future of Poppy Playtime. So if you haven't seen the latest VHS tape yet, it's set up like a children's cartoon, and we actually got two different versions of this video. The first video was a scuffed or a cursed version, and it was only a short part of the video, but it also contained this hidden phrase. If you pause the video on this frame, you can find the phrase golden path. Now this isn't the first time we've heard this phrase. We've heard the golden path before, we've seen the golden path forward, and I think this is an important phrase just like the hour of joy. Now I do have a theory about that, but we'll cover that in a future video. But all of this unlocked the passwords that led us to the full video in the ARG. Now the full video is what appears to be a children's cartoon, but something about it just isn't quite right.
S-M-I-L-E every day! When you are down and out, no need to frown and pout. The smiley players here to say S-M-I-L-E every day!
The wind's really scary. I can't sleep.
Hey, we'll be okay, guys. I promise. All winds blow away. Eventually. Catnap! Please, help us go to sleep, Catnap!
We need it, Catnap.
Please help us!
Sleep, sleep, sleep!
So after watching this video, you might be thinking that something just doesn't quite sit right with it, and I agree. At first glance, this appears to be a children's cartoon show. It wouldn't seem out of ordinary on something I would have watched when I was a child, except if you watch it, the messaging doesn't really fit with something you would expect to see on public television. In fact, I think parents would be very concerned if they saw this show with all of the characters in the show being put to sleep with gas. It definitely seems very creepy. But there is already a potential explanation for this already. If you remember the way that Mob revealed these characters that we now know are called the Smiling Critters, they revealed these on Twitter with these two images. Now the first image showed the full lineup of the Smiling Critters, but the second one showed the same lineup with the cat removed. Now of course we know from this video now that this is called Catnap. This is going to be the main antagonist of Chapter 3, and the name, well, it fits. This is the doll that is going to use the red gas. This is the one that we saw the big version of in the trailer for Chapter 3. Now it makes sense as to why this character would be here. The children living underground, surrounded by all these monstrous things, probably did have trouble sleeping. We've already covered this in previous theories. And it would make sense that Playtime Co. would want a way to control these children and keep them from doing things that they shouldn't be doing at night. And well, the gas is a drastic way, but it is definitely a way to do that. But why do we see this happen in an episode of a children's TV show? Well, I don't think this was ever supposed to make it to public television. In fact, I believe this whole episode was nothing more than some indoctrination for the children that were being held in Playtime Co. We now know that there are classrooms in the Playcare area, and it does seem like Playtime Co. were educating these children. But as I said on my previous theory, it seems like this is more likely to be indoctrination than education. And in fact, if you look through this video, you can kind of see what they were trying to indoctrinate them with. They want these children to be creative, they want them to be scientific. They're probably trying to instill this into the children so they can use them as part of the factory workforce later on. Think about it, educate these children to learn science, and then use them as scientists later on. It kind of makes sense. So I actually think that this video was supposed to be shown to the children in Playtime Co. as part of that indoctrination process. It was showing the children that they should like the gas. The gas is good for them, it's fun, it makes you happy. Therefore, the children would be less likely to complain about the gas in real life. Again, it's a very obvious but sick and twisted plan. So if this ever got out to public television, I'm sure many parents would complain. It doesn't seem like something you would want normal children in your household watching. It seems very creepy to a normal person, but we know that they got the orphans at a very young age, so they could indoctrinate them to make this seem normal. And if this ever got out to the public, I'm sure there would have been an outcry, which could explain why the catnap was taken away from this promotional image. Perhaps this video got out accidentally and Playtime Co. were trying to cover it up. But looking through the video, you can find a bunch of little hidden clues and little references to the rest of the games. For example, if you look at this clock, you can see that it strikes 6 minutes past 10, which would be 10:06 or 1006. Cheeky little nod there. But if you look closer, you can see even more creepy details. If you look at the ball as it's being kicked by the rabbit, if you zoom in, you can see what looks like the image of a child's face. It's almost like somebody was trying to show the world, show them hints of what was going on down here, but didn't want to make it too obvious. Perhaps this is why the video got leaked in the first place. Even more disturbingly, if you look inside the elephant's mouth in one of these scenes, you can see what definitely looks like the silhouette of Huggy. I've talked about seeing this image before. I've seen this image of Huggy in several different static images now, and I definitely think that this is yet another clue that Huggy is going to be returning. But Mob hid this one very, very well. You have to look very closely for it. But you can also see what looks like a twisted and warped version of Huggy in the image behind these critters. Again, just one final hint that I think Huggy's coming back. If you look closely at this scene though as well, this is the reverse of what we saw in the other ARG video, the one with the gas. This is flipped, but it looks very, very similar. And in fact, the art style is even very different too. It makes it look much more realistic than the rest of the cartoon. It makes it stand out, which makes it creepier, but it's also a stark reminder that this is just all part of the scientific process. They probably made this scene more realistic so that the children would be more used to seeing it when it happened in real life. At the end of the video, we also get some of the other names of the characters. We can see that the dog is called Dog Day. We can see that the pig is called Picky Piggy. And we can also see that the bear is called Bobby Bear Hug. Now, a couple of these names might actually have significance. Dog Day, for an example, is another way of saying a bad day. Now, this could be hinting that all of these children down here were having very bad days, and I think this might be related to that in some way. You could also say the same thing about Picky Piggy. This could be a way for Playtime Co. to stop the children being picky eaters. After all, I'm assuming it's not like they have much choice down there. It's not like they can just pop out to the store and get whatever they want. They're kind of stuck with whatever Playtime Co. give them. Now, Bobby Bear Hug could fit this theme as well. The idea that these children down here were not in the best mental state is something that I covered in my previous theory. The idea of not seeing sunlight, being held here against their will, being forced to do these experiments, probably didn't leave her the happiest children, and I could definitely see this being a way as Playtime Co. attempting to make these children more happy. Finally, we have this hidden still frame in the video, which is very, very odd. It seems to be the red gas, which is very obvious of what that is now, but there also seems to be this silhouette here, and I'm not entirely sure what it's supposed to be. To my eyes, it looks like Bron, but I've been saying for a while now I expect Bron to appear in Chapter 3, so it might just be wishful thinking. But otherwise, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to see here, but it definitely looks ominous to me, and it seems interesting that it's just been spliced into a frame. Usually when mobs splice something into a frame like this, it usually contains at least some relevant information, but I haven't been able to find anything in this one just yet. So there we go, there are some of the hidden things I found in this one. I will have more analysis coming for Poppy Playtime Chapter 3 news. I'm sure we're going to get more before the release date, which could be next month by the sounds of things. If you did enjoy the vid, let me know in the comments below, leave the video a like, and as always, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.